Today in the crypto space, we see the market still going sideways, Bitcoin at about 29,000 and Ethereum still at about $1,900, give or take. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are pretty much waiting for these heavyweights to make some decisions. Are we gonna take a bit of a dip so that we can buy at lower levels, or are we gonna rally up to good profit taking zones? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that has retraced a bit and could be at a good level of support, and that project is called Dimitra. DMTR is the ticker. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, we talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, all we want to do is stay one step ahead of that market. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, or hit me up on those socials. The links are in the description, and of course that Discord group, guys, go check it out. Good community they're building, and we are definitely spreading good alpha throughout the day, good setups, good fundamentals, and all that good stuff. Go check that out, guys. Great place. And obviously there are other ways that you can follow me. There's a Telegram, there's the Instagrams, and all of the other socials down below in the description. All right, let's continue here. Bitcoin going sideways. We have Ethereum also, sideways, but at the bottom of the range, not looking the greatest. BNB sideways once again, hanging out after it got a bit of a rally, a bit of a dip, up and down, and here we are, right? Still at about $240 for BNB. XRP taking that dip, down 7% in the last little while. Did get a nice rally up, of course, when the lawsuit kind of finalized, but here we are taking a bit of a dip to those lower levels. Should we be accumulating? Now, Shiba Inu getting some strength again, 5.1% to the upside, looking pretty good. However, guys, still at range highs. Currently no breakout. We could get a breakout, guys. It could be breaking out of this range for the, another leg to the upside. It is up approximately 10% in 7 days. So SHIB right now is looking pretty strong, but to get into a fresh long, be careful, because you're going to be breakout trading. You have to be able to mitigate that risk just in case we get this rejection upon the breakout. Okay, so SHIB looking pretty strong. What else do we have? Dips. AVAX lower levels hanging out there, maybe further. If it breaks down, it comes down, let it come down if it is going to. Maybe we'll take a look at some of these, layer ones like Near Protocol, Avalanche, even Uniswap's taking a bit of a dip. SHIB, of course, is looking strong. One of the anomalies, OKB looking strong. Another one that is going random here at about 6% to the upside in the last 24 hours, guys. That's pretty good. Not bad of a move right there. What else do we have here? Optimism still grinding to the upside, 2.7% in the last little while, looking pretty strong. But guys, that trade setup that I did post earlier on in last week, I believe it was, now is in some significant gains, guys. We pretty much were able to basically grab the entire move to the upside, and here we are now maybe looking a bit top heavy. So be careful here, trail up those stop losses, take a bit off the top just in case we decide to retrace. Again, Your Protocol, bottom of the range. XTC, another 10%, guys, for today. Another 10% in the last 24 hours, guys. For me, XTC right now is quite risky. Getting into fresh longs, you can see that we are slowly getting a few little pumps, coming down pumps, but the trend is still our friend, guys. The trend is still our friend. If we see some bearish divergence on momentum, this is the potential scenario to start looking for profit taking zones and waiting for break of structure, break of trend first, then wait for some structure breaks, and then start scaling out bit by bit as we potentially hit some mediocre rallies up and liquidity grabs. You still want to take profits upon a nice rally at 41%, guys. 41%. Those are opportunities definitely to take profit. What else do we have here? Caspa kind of going sideways here. Consolidation up 2.6% for sure. Looking okay. 25% in the last 7 days. Another project that for me, I'd rather hang out here and wait to see what Caspa does. You know, if Caspa right now gets a bit of a rejection here at the 1.618 extension level, for me, it's about, you know, let's see what kind of retracement we get, and then we can scale in with a bit of confidence. Currently, Caspa, you know, did really good. The market has been really hyped up with regards to Caspa, and for me, I feel like I'm going to be buying into FOMO. So no really any fresh longs currently for me. I'm waiting for retracements. I'm waiting for pullbacks. All right, so let's continue. Sandbox dipping down, not looking the greatest overall, down 6%. What else? Few dips, few rallies. Flex still looking okay, 44% in 7 days. So for me, you know, this is profit taking zone again, double top, maybe bearish divergence. Maybe this is the time to, you know, trail up that stop loss below previous lows, because if it breaks a structure, guys, it could be coming down for a bit of a retracement, and that's when you can scale in further. Flex looking good, but, you know, maybe this is the time to stay one step ahead of the market. Guys, you know, here on the channel, that's what we do. We look to try to stay one step ahead. You know, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, we want to make sure we have a plan ready to go, guys. If you have any projects that you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know for future videos. But of course, if I offer you any value throughout this video, do the channel a huge favor and slap that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm and get these videos going. All right, render coming down a little bit more. Projects, you know, KuCoin, a lot of projects right now are in a dip scenario. There are some randos like Casper. You know, we talked about right now, there's about 3 that are, you know, looking pretty strong. Casper right now beginning a nice little rally here, 7.2% to the upside. We did cover Casper in previous videos live, guys, and we talk about a lot of videos here. What did we ever do a full-on dedicated video on Casper Network? I'm sure I did really early when it was bottoming out, right here about a month ago. Okay, so if you look at what happened about a month ago, Casper was in a retracement. We were looking for buy the dip opportunities, and right now is the time to be looking for, you know, looking forward to the gains that you're making. So switch stances. Now look for defensive, defending your gains. Oh, it's only 7.2%. We could still get a little bit of a dip so that we can scale in further. But so far, so good here for Casper Network. Not Caspa, Casper. Okay, let's continue. What else do we have? Trust Wallet pulling back and CFX getting a little bit of pullback. Consensus for me is, after looking at these 3 projects doing pretty well, you know, the general market itself is still sideways or dipping. Okay, so bit by bit, we're getting a few of these altcoins pop up and look good, right? And that's a very indicative of a potential altcoin season. We see altcoins take their turns, a few at a time, popping up. Good, you know, fundamentals, good projects with great fundamentals pop up, and then, you know, they all take turns and cycle through until we see all these altcoins kind of catch up to Bitcoin. Okay, so that's my take here. I'm interested in Caspa, but today's video is all about Dimitra. I want to talk about Dimitra because I feel like it could be in a good zone for, you know, some analysis. And of course, before we get into Dimitra, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. So you know what? I know you're here to talk about charts, and let's do it. Let's begin our analysis talking about Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing here? Nothing really here. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame. We're zoomed in. We're looking at this range. Yes, we had a range here, fell through. Now we're building another range. Could we fall through for another dip, getting down to those lower levels? It's very possible. And here on the 4-hour, not getting any edge. We are in the chop zone on the 4-hour, and if you get on the daily, yeah, we could get a continuation to the downside and get oversold. And if that's the case, I'm expecting lower levels here for Bitcoin. Okay, so be careful getting into a long. For me, it's a no trade zone. I'm not really interested in trading Bitcoin currently. I'm having some real good fun and making some good gains trading altcoins lately. So for me, I'm sticking with it. Bullish divergence is still intact right here. Lower lows on the price action, higher highs on the RSI, and for me, that is good for a short-term pump to the upside. But sometimes it's okay not to take a trade. Sometimes it's absolutely normal to say, you know what, the setup is good there. The setup looks okay, but there's no strength, there's no volume, there's no real volatility. So you know what, I'm going to look for another opportunity. There's tons of opportunities here in the market, guys. It doesn't always have to be Bitcoin, and it could be some other altcoins that are showing strength with good fundamentals. And speaking of that, let's get right into Dimitra. Let's talk about Dimitra. What is Dimitra talking about right now? What is it trying to say to us? I think what it's trying to say is, look, we've retraced okay already. Our retracement is decent. we've came down to lower levels, we double bottomed, we got a nice bullish divergence, class A bullish divergence, and I'm talking about the 4-hour. Let's get into the daily quick. We'll get back into the 4-hour. You can see that this downward sloping wedge is definitely playing out, coming down to these lower levels, and we are currently testing the top of some good levels of support. Okay, these are the support levels: top of the range, bottom of the range, top right, and this is the range that I look at because this is the weak spot in the chart. You can see here, based on the VPVR and even horizontals, you can see we have lows, 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 a little bit of spikes of spikes to the downside, 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 and here we are. Now if you kind of zoom in a little bit, you can see that the gap in here, if you can see, the VPVR is showing us a weak spot right here. So we are currently testing this level. Now if we do break down, we can snap to about 2 cents, 2.1 cents. If we hold right now at about 2.9 cents, give or take, that's not bad. That's not bad. So I like this zone. Again, I like this area, top of the volume gap, bottom of the volume gap, to scale in slowly. Now if we zoom in, we have to see some confirmations here. Right now the RSI is not really giving me an edge. I don't see any sign of potential divergence right here, meaning that we're not overbought, oversold, or even overbought. We're not even oversold. I want to see this thing get oversold. We got oversold. We fully reset, got into overbought territory. Great profit taking opportunities all the way up here, and now we're getting a retracement that's not fully reset. At least let's get close enough to the 30 mark, right? 30% here on the other side would give me that inclination that the bears are, full-fledged, and they may be in a time of exhaustion. Right now, the bears could definitely bring this down for one more impulse to the downside, and maybe bring it down to the bottom of the range here on the RSI. So we have to, on the price action, you have to kind of anticipate what could happen, given the fact that there's no real reason why the bears can't show a little bit more strength to get the RSI down to those extreme oversold conditions. And if that's the case, if you plan for that, what you're really doing is now going to mitigate your risk, because if it does come down, what are you going to do? You're going to go all in right now. That's dangerous, unless you're going to put a stop loss underneath previous lows. And to do this properly, we need to get into lower time frames. So we'll do that in a second. Let's look at this MACD. Right now, the MACD is looking pretty good. A bit of confusion. You can see how choppy it is right here. But the EMAs are facing up with, some green histogram bars to the upside, which is okay. Not looking the strongest right here, but you know how it is. We get a little bit of, insecurity, and then we maybe get a nice higher high here on the cluster of supply and demand to those higher levels. So let's keep an eye on it. Looking pretty good here on the daily. But again, to get fully convicted, I want to see oversold conditions here on the momentum oscillator. So with that being said, we can look for an entry on the 4-hour, but if we look for an entry on the 4-hour, we need to look for an exit on the 4-hour, because it could be just a short-term rally up to backtest this breakdown. And if it does, we have to anticipate that we could come back to about these levels and then expect another test of lower levels. Okay, so let's get into the 4-hour here quick and see what's going on. Double bottom. Nice bullish divergence, lower lows on the price action, higher highs on the RSI. We got a nice rally up, touch range highs based on this, diagonal, and we got a bit of a rejection. Now, this is the confirmation. This is the confirmation that's going to tell people, basically the bulls, that this was the low. The low was in. Let's start getting in, because now we're making a higher low. Now, if we make a higher low, now the probability is increasing that maybe now we might make a higher high, right? But we have some work to do. We got to break trend. We got to break a bit of structure to make that higher high, meaning we got to break above this previous high. If we break above this previous high, guys, it's starting to look like a real trend reversal here at critical levels of support. So let me put a little horizontal in here so we can keep an eye on this level. We want this level, which is the previous high, to be broken, to get a bit of confirmation that, yes, you know what, we're making a higher high and we're breaking structure. Currently, at the moment, we're making a higher low, which is the beginning. This is good. This is a pivot point. This is, bullish divergence and follow through and confirmation of the divergence of potential continuation now to the upside based on this, divergence that's diverging to the upside. Once was going down, now potentially going up. To get that confirmation, we need a higher high further. So if you wait for all these confirmations, guys, it's a good thing and a bad thing. And the reality is it all affects your risk to reward ratio. If you wait for a breakout, Okay, if you wait for the breakout, that's great. You're getting confirmations, and what you should be doing, waiting for a back test of that breakout. But you can see as this happens, you are basically losing out on this opportunity of gains. And I understand that that is not the most beneficial or interesting thing to see, that you're going to be buying at higher levels. But guess what, guys? Buying at higher levels upon confirmations reduces the risk, because at the end of the day, now you can, upon a back test, you can say, look, as long as we do not make a lower low, we are intact for a trend to the upside. Higher highs, higher lows, let's go right to the upside. So upon a retracement, who knows how low this can go? We could get a bounce right off of here and then start continuing to the upside, right? Up in the higher highs, higher lows. You get my point. So the question is, how much risk are you willing to take here? Down here is very risky, but you can look at it as a interesting zone to put a risk to reward ratio that is very, very tight. Let me show you what I mean. If we get into a long position right here and we get in right here, you could definitely put a stop loss right under here, and you could put your take profit pretty much at a back test, or even here, you're looking at a good 2-to-1 ratio, which is not bad. Okay. If you go up here, you're looking at a good, let's say 3-to-1, which is decent. Now, if you can get your entry right now as low as possible to invalidation, and this was very loose, I would say that's okay, something like that. And if you can get in right around here, that's okay. So you're looking at 3-to-1, give or take, depending on your exit. I think a good exit is based on this volume gap. That's a nice exit for me. Look at the volume gap. I don't mark up the volume gaps on the 4 hours, so you're going to have to do this yourself. You're going to look at, potential zones, support zones and resistance zones on price action. And for me, on this high right here is where I would consider scaling out and de-risking, taking profits and trailing up a stop loss and putting my stop loss right underneath this white line. Just in case we do get that breakout, we want to make sure that we hold it as support. If we do come down to those lower levels, we got to wait for the momentum. So right now the momentum is in trend. The momentum is currently in our favor for a long position on the 4 hour. But remember what I said about the daily. The daily hasn't gotten full reset. So if we do get that full reset, it's very likely that we do come down to above 0.022. If that happens, cut your losses and reaccumulate at these lower levels because at the end of the day, it could come down. You can get a better entry. Now, of course, that doesn't need to happen. You don't have to put a stop loss. What you could do is put your stop loss nice and deep down here and just get in very slowly here, very small capital. And as it comes down, you DCA in, increasing your position size. That way your overall cost of your position is going down and down and down. That's the power of DCAing, guys. So you have a couple options. For me personally, I would say that this range of a dip is too much. It's too much to basically hold. I wouldn't like to hold all the way through. You're looking at about a 20% dip, give or take. I would rather cut my losses and reaccumulate at a 20% cheaper price and put some blind spot orders down here at the lower ranges, just in case we wick down. At least you can re-enter at really good levels. And then as we get some support and confirmations down here, you're scaling in. So you have a choice now. Are you going to trade the 4 hour? Great. Trading the 4 hour is very possible. As you can see, good setup, bullish divergence, and looks like it's trying to get to the upside for a short-term pump here. Now, if you want to trade the daily, you got to wait. You got to wait for full reset and come down to lower levels and anticipate that we could get a nice rally up, but it's only could. We may not. We might not even come down to these levels. We might hold support here. So this is the name of the game, guys. It's all about probability. There's no crystal ball that we can go in here and try to make it certain. There's no certainties. We're just here for a game of probability. And right now, statistically speaking, both a long on the 4 hour is decent with a tight stop loss, and waiting for a potential long on the daily is not bad either. But we have to see that this actually follows through. We're getting a higher high, a higher low here. Nice bullish divergence. Wait for break of trend, break of structure, back test the structure. All of this stuff is our confirmations to build a position around the zone, and eventually you should be looking for take profits. Again, TPs for me, I would put it right around here at this red arrow, just in case. Top of the volume gap is up here. Of course, you could take a bit more if we happen to, pump right through, or down here at these levels where I think, take away a little bit on your short-term spot positions, because on the daily, I'm looking for Dimitra to do very, very well. But in order to get bullish on the daily, I want fully reset RSIs, and then we'll be talking about another impulse to this level. This is the level that I'm interested in to take bigger profits, of course. And then bull run style, guys, who knows where this thing can go in the bull run. You know, a lot of talk about Dimitra, a lot of good fundamentals, a lot of good hype, good community building right here happening for Dimitra. So I'm really bullish, but I want to trade the smaller time frames in order to pack my bag even bigger for the bull run. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't, do the channel a huge favor, support us by slapping that like button. It does really help out with that algorithm. Of course, guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord group, the Telegram group, all those groups, good communities, basically sharing a lot of alpha throughout the day, trade setups, and a lot of good fundamentals. All right, guys, see you tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we go live talking about crypto news and price action. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.
Thank you.